And with us now from our D.C. Bureau is Amber Strong. Thanks for being with us, Amber.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, what is it about Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump that appeal to the millennial?
And I think it's exactly what the young man in the video said. He said, millennials don't like wishy-washy people. And it's kind of the same thing across the board. I don't think there's a difference between millennials and older voters. It's the exact same thing. They see authenticity. They see authenticity in Bernie Sanders, and they see it in Donald Trump, because both of them, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, are kind of seen as these outsiders that don't necessarily subscribe to the status quo of politics. And so it's an honesty factor.
Okay. Well, you mentioned that millennials are attracted because they promise jobs, but other candidates are promising jobs too. So why do these two seem to have that platform cornered?
Well, I think if you break it down by each candidate, so we start with Bernie Sanders. He's kind of seen as this anti-establishment, anti-big banks guy. And if you grow up as a millennial and you grow up in this world where capitalism doesn't have this favorable view, you think, okay, there's someone coming in that's going to change the way the economy and wealth is distributed in this country. And when you go to the other side and look at Donald Trump, he's seen as a successful businessman. He's seen as someone who has handled his money, his finances well. And so maybe when he becomes the leader of this country, then that will trickle down and the economy will do better under his leadership. So I think either way, there's a hope that jobs will be available under both of these two for different reasons.
Okay, now let's talk about the big surprise that you found. Socialism is attractive to millennials, and why is that?
I think Bernie Sanders has done a really good job of redefining socialism, at least in the eyes of millennials. So the way that he describes socialism is not the same as the socialism you grow up reading about in history books. His socialism is this beautiful world where things are equal and things are balanced, and he models it more, or he uses Denmark and Sweden kind of as these examples of the successes of socialism when it comes to taking care of all of your people. And so this is a generation that subscribes to compassion. And so when you talk about compassion, the poll by Frank Luntz said 58% see socialism as a good thing because it's compassionate, at least in the way that Bernie Sanders describes it.
Okay, let's talk about social media. How important is it to this campaign?
I said it in the package, and you have to meet people where they are. So it's the same as any field, even our field. If this is where people are going anyway, they're going to check their status, they're going to update to see the latest on something else, and there you are, then you have a good chance of reaching them. And I think Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump have done an excellent job of that, particularly Donald Trump. He doesn't have to wait on the media to get his message out there. Who cares if we say it? He's going to go right to Twitter and use his 140 characters and get his message out there. He doesn't need us, and he does a really good job of translating his message via social media.
Real quick, last question for you. The millennial generation is the largest one yet. How could this affect the numbers in November's election?
Right. So the Frank Luntz poll that I mentioned earlier asked, are you guys going to vote? And as of now, I think it was over 80% say they're extremely likely or very likely to vote in November. I think that's something that you have to really pay attention to, is that the overwhelming majority said, if I have to choose between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, which is what it kind of looks like it's going to be, most millennials do lean toward Hillary Clinton.
All right. Amber Strong, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right.